Hello, my weary travelers, and welcome to the stream. We're going through the Sunless Citadel right now on our way to Curse of Strahd. This is Stray Society Games. Um, my name is Derek. I'm the game master, and we've got quite the cast with us today. Starting off, we'll start with RJ. RJ, would you like to introduce yourself and who you're playing?
What if I said no? No, I'm kidding. Um, my name is RJ. I am playing Ina the Halfling Wizard, and my favorite fruit is a kumquat.
Kumquats are delicious, I think. I've actually never had one. We're gonna hop up to
I
Corey.
blanked. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We're gonna hop up to
Hey, do we
Corey.
have to share favorite fruits?
Yeah, you can share favorite fruits. My favorite fruit is an orange.
Don't pay attention to me. I'm an idiot.
It's fruit time.
Tracks. My name is Corey. I'll be playing our Triton sorcerer named Ophelia Bellicor.
Yes, yes. And what is your favorite fruit?
Oh, I'm sorry. A pear.
Excellent. Good to know. That'll bring us up to Migs.
Hi, my name is Migs. I'll be playing our resident fairy fighter Porum, and my favorite fruit is a dragon fruit.
Ooh. Don't know if we'll be fighting any fruits today, but we might be curing vegetarianism. That'll bring us up to Cosmic.
Hello, I am Cosmic, currently playing our grave cleric, Balthazar. I don't have a favorite fruit. I'm a very picky eater.
For
Yes, yes.
shame.
The scandalous, I know.
I know. That'll bring us up to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing by Noor, our Luxodon druid. And I guess my favorite fruit is a strawberry.
Ooh, very nice. An excellent choice. And last but not least, Jennifer.
I am Jennifer, and I am playing Penny Peanut Posy Poppy, your forest gnome rogue. And cherries are my favorite fruit.
Ooh, liking the red in the couple, I see. Excellent. So yeah, those are our brave adventurers for today. And would any of my brave adventurers be brave enough to do a recap of last session for one of those sweet, delicious inspirations? Going once? Going twice?
Fear.
What was that?
Fear, it sounds like.
It sounds like everyone is
I'll
afraid.
do it. I'll be the sacrifice.
I have my inspiration I'm holding on to for some reason.
Excellent.
And
Go for it,
people
Cosmic.
do double inspiration? That's the question. But yes, no. So last we left off, we were standing around the tomb, kind of just wondering what we should do with it. As the rest of the party came and joined Team Short Stack on the tombstone side, during which Aina tried to claw and or lift the lid of the sarcophagus with his twiggy little arms and caused himself some exhaustion, to which Balthazar stopped him and had the party calmly discuss, should we open this? And it was decided, yes, we should. After opening the tomb, we had to fight a big ol' troll man? Yes?
Yeah. Dragon Priest transformed into one.
Yeah, presumably sexy elf dragon priest turned to horrible troll man.
Mm-hmm.
We fought him off. Discovered in the worst way possible that cutting him to pieces without, cauterizing any of the wounds, caused those body parts to come alive. That was kind of. But twas summarily defeated with Ophelia having the firepower, haha,
Very nice.
to stop it from regenerating. And afterwards we looted what was inside of the tombstone. Can't remember all of the things. There were some funny boots, a weird singular gauntlet, question mark? Who knows what else, and Biner got the star charts he was looking for, but apparently they're weird. Don't know how, but they are.
A little strange.
A little bit.
You just smidgen.
Just a smidge. While continuing to look over the items we got, Penny got distracted. I think it was Penny, right? Got distracted by the shiny little thing in the corner of the tomb. And was like, "Can we take it?" And we were just like, "You know what? Sure. Nothing bad can happen, right?"
Yeah.
Last time Penny wanted to do something, it ended up being helpful. Turns out we were all wrong. And that ended up causing the entire all of the rooms inside of the dragon door to start collapsing on us. And then came the stress of having to help each other and ourselves escape from these corridors.
Yes.
Viner ended up getting held back quite a bit, but luckily was able to catch up with the rest of the party with some minor losses, as Balthazar gave up his crossbow to get everyone through safely. Viner still had his hands kind of crushed. Balthazar got kind of fucked up, and Porum fainted from the stress.
Yeah.
After that, they decided, we're gonna take a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a break. Join Porum and perhaps the sweet ease of unconsciousness. So we went back to our rooms, or the room that we had, and inadvertently ended up having some pretty good one-on-one conversations, mainly with Biner and Aina, along with some of the rest of the group about his tribe and why he's searching for star charts. Aina and Ophelia got the chance to talk out what happened during the last session, where Ophelia just freaking one-shotted Aina on accident. During which Biner and Penny had a really sweet conversation about tribe and family. It was a good found family shit. Meanwhile, Balthazar kind of went a little bit on his lonesome to kind of smoke the stress away before Biner joined them, and they had an actually decent and pretty nice conversation with each other, in which Balthazar kinda promised to, share a smoke with Biner someday. Or not someday, but like whenever they get out of this place.
When they have both pipes.
Yes, when they both have pipes.
Yeah.
Since Balthazar was the only one who had them. And, friendship grew that day.
That it did.
Many friendships grew. And they reconvened back into the room. And that's where we left off.
That we did. So yeah, y'all got a short rest. So Porum, if you want to give yourself a short rest, because I know you had to leave a little early last time, feel free to do that. While you're doing that, I'm going to let our audience know. Some rooms are being lit up that the party can't see right now. Roll20 is being a bit weird, so, you know. Sadly, there's nothing we can do about it today. It's a little bit of a glitch, but we're going to keep going nonetheless. But yeah, Porum, you wake up after your nap. I believe the rest of the party was talking about doing a little more exploring. Maybe that skeleton door, maybe the other door leading to where the goblins are. But Porum, you finally start coming to as the group starts gathering back up in y'all's room. You have a little bit of a sunflower plucked in your hair now.
Porum's just gonna, start waking up, a little groggy, put his head or hand to his head and just kind of rub his temples a little bit and notice the sunflower and just pluck it from his head, give it a little stare, and turn his attention over to the rest of the group and just scan over it and just has a very faint smile on his face. And he starts getting up and dusting himself off a little bit.
Oh, good. You're awake. Are you all right?
I've been better, but I'll be fine. Whoever gave me the flower, I appreciate it.
Ricky gives you a little bit of a wave. Just said, I was a little worried that you died there for a second, so, I thought I'd give the proper rites. A little bit of a chuckling laugh.
Poor will return and chuckle. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, but at least I know my rights will be honored, I guess is the word.
Gives a smile and a little bit of a nod to you at that. Should we head out?
Porum will just nod.
All right. Unless anyone else has anything they'd like to do, I will move y'all down the hallway. Let me get everybody gathered together. Sorry, Cosmic, were you about to say something?
Nothing at all.
Okie dokie. Gonna do this. Perfect. So yeah, y'all begin making your way back through the Citadel. And as you do, go ahead and describe some of the things y'all see one more time. So as you get back into this room, there's still that dusty fountain that y'all have passed before that seems to have the words "Let there be fire" written in Draconic on its basin. That's to your right. To your left, there are skeletal dragons and a Draconic inscription that reads, "Rebuke the dead, open the way." And you would also know that just up here, you're pretty sure is a door that has goblins somewhere beyond it. Y'all haven't opened it yet, but you did put an ear to it, though all you heard was silence on the other side. But as y'all walk through here, edging your way around the spooky carpet with a corpse on it in the previous room, Ophelia, can you roll me a perception roll?
I sure can.
Thank you. Oh, interesting. Ophelia, something hooked to your waist feels warm.
Ooh.
Can I feel around? for it?
Yes.
Like what is it?
As you feel around, you'd find that the ceremonial dagger that you'd picked up, the handle has a warmth to it, not enough to like scald your fingers or anything, but the silver does seem to be radiating with some kind of heat.
I guess I'd just kind of still be like looking over the dagger.
All right, so you're gonna draw it out.
Yeah.
It has a reddish glow around the blade.
I've never seen anything like this before. I would turn and just kind of show the party. It's from the dagger I picked up off of the monster we fought.
Hmm.
Is it just the dagger glowing, or
As far as y'all can see, yes. None of the other items that you picked up seem to be doing anything of interest right now.
That's suspicious.
That's sus.
That's weird.
Cool. It glows red.
I had a character, I'm just laughing myself because I know. Because of the information we got last week. Someone did.
Does it seem to like intensify and like de-intensify like in certain areas, or is it just like
Would Ophelia like to walk around with it?
Sure thing.
All right. Move your token where you'd like to walk.
We'll go like down this hall.
All right. As you walk down that hall, it seems to fade away into nothing.
Okay. So obviously coming back over here.
And it heats up and glows red once more.
What
do
about
you
over?
think?
Sorry.
Ooh. What were you about to say, Cosmic?
Balthazar was going to kind of just think out loud. Do you think it might be connected to the fountain?
Either that or I was thinking the room we didn't explore last time.
Is a brighter red in front of the skeletal door.
Looking at it, would there be like a slot for the dagger to go into?
Doesn't look like it now.
should we open the door and find out what's inside?
Oh yeah, this one
Really?
wasn't blocked, was it?
No, the other one was blocked with goblins. Perhaps with caution, though.
Uh, sure, I guess I'll slowly open it then.
Right. As you press a hand against it, the skeletal dragons sort of shift outwards, their fingers sort of gripping a central piece, each one pulling it apart to reveal the room before you. And as it opens up, revealing this room, I'll go ahead and describe it for you. As you see 5 dusty sarcophagi, 3 to the north and 2 to the south, stand on end in this silent chamber. Each of the carved stone coffins resembles a noble elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes. An altar with images of dragons carved into its black obsidian is set in the center of the west wall. A single candle burns brightly on the altar. Next to the candle are a small whistle and a crystal flask.
Anything of interest?
Sorry, I just spaced out.
The glowing
Naughty,
dagger
naughty.
is too much.
Yeah.
Shiny dagger.
Shiny dagger make a brain go brr.
It really does. It looks like it's just.
We want to investigate the altar.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll take a step inside. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'll risk it. I'll just risk the traps.
Risk the biscuit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is
Maybe you shouldn't be the one risking the biscuit.
inside this room. It is glowing with the same intensity as it was when you were just standing outside the door.
Okay. Would there be any way for me to check if there were any type of traps? Like looking around the room, especially like closer towards the altar?
Sure. Do you want to move yourself a little closer to the altar, or are you just checking from where you're at?
I would probably maybe get like this close.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception roll.
Nice.
16. Okay, give me 1 second here. As you're looking around in the room, there doesn't seem to be any plates on the floor, any arrow slits, or anything like that that would indicate that this place is trapped that you can see.
I'd just call back to the party and be like, it looks like this room we should be good to move around in. I'd hesitate to maybe start touching anything.
Or do you want to move closer to the altar? And
I'll start making my way to the altar.
And he has jumped onto Balthazar's shoulder.
Get to the altar. Do you want to investigate the items on it? There is a
How's the
single...
dagger looking? Is it even stronger, or is it not any different?
It has the same pretty intense red glow that it had as you were standing just outside the door.
Yeah, I would like to look over everything on the altar.
Sure. So there's a crystal flask, a single candle burning brightly, and a small whistle. What would you like to pick up first?
Hold on, sorry. I guess I would like to pick up the crystal flask.
All right. You reach your hands around the crystal flask, and you grab it. And as your fingers curl around it, the coffins surrounding you all shudder and creak open. And as they creak open, you see 5 skeletons dressed in ceremonial robes emerging from inside. And I'd say it's time to roll some initiatives, perhaps.
Starting off strong, I see.
Oh yeah.
Why touch the mysterious objects?
No.
Why not just look at them on the altar?
We love the
Right.
mysterious objects.
Ugh. That second natural one.
Okay, okay. That's
yeah, my
decent.
initiatives are going strong.
That's decent. As Balthazar was kind Balthazar was kind of like looking at the coffins a little bit. Seeing them move, he looks to where Ophelia is and mentally is just like, why touch the objects?
All right, Petty. One of these skeletons creaks open its coffin and steps out. What would you like to do?
What was that?
As one of these skeletons in front of you steps out of its coffin, dust sort of emerging from the old sarcophagus, what would you like to do?
I am going to, with my rapier, I'm going to try to attack the one that's closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's definitely a hit. All right. Sadly, because you don't have an ally next to it, you won't get the sneak, but you will stab it for 6 piercing damage. So your rapier punctures through it, and bone dust sort of clouds the air. Anything else you'd like to do, Penny?
Yeah, then can I just disengage and move back out?
Absolutely, with your
of the ring?
cunning action, you can disengage and make a hasty retreat. That'll bring us to Balthazar.
Boy. Balthazar takes immediate dislike and offense with how many undead these are. Did I choose it? Once again, too small of an area. Just want to fuck it up for everyone else. He is going to take out his wakizashi from its sheath in his umbrella, and will he'll have his dagger at the ready, but uses his free hand to grab his holy symbol, and he's gonna cast Sacred Flame on the one in front of him.
The one in front of him, you, not the one that got stabbed?
You know, it would be smarter. The one that got stabbed.
Okay. I'll have that
God
one
damn it.
make a dex. Well, hey, you never know. It might fail its dex. Let's see here. So it got a 19, so it definitely didn't fail, as it sort
I
of
should have just stabbed it.
steps out of the way. That'll bring us up to Urki, who, being all out of spell slots, is going to do much the same thing that you just did. And cast his very own Sacred Flame, as it is going to try to dodge it once more. A 16, which it passes. Which will bring us to the first skeleton's turn. Skeleton that just got stabbed by Penny glances towards where she went, looks through the door, and then it turns. And it looks towards you, Ophelia. And it just stands there and stares at you. As does the next skeleton. Ina, what would you like to do?
Seeing that the 2 skeletons didn't do anything, Ina's gonna look towards Ophelia, and is just gonna whisper, "What did you touch? What did you do? Why aren't they doing anything?" Just backing out.
Excellent.
And that's gonna be my turn.
Perfect. The other 3 skeletons in the room are all just staring intently with cold black eyes at Ophelia. To bring us to Porum. You've got skeleton buddies around you.
Porum's just gonna stick by Ophelia, but have his glaive on the ready just in case anything happens. So I'm gonna hold my action for now.
All right. Ophelia, it is you. What would you like to do as these skeletons are peering at you?
I guess I would probably move. I'm assuming because I grabbed the crystal flask and the dagger that's pulsating that I
Yes.
have out. Like, could I move like my hand with the dagger? Like, do I like? Would they follow it at all?
They don't seem to really follow too much. They're just staring at you this whole time.
Did the hag do?
Uh. Horum, I'm not quite sure what I should do.
Why do you think I should know?
You pray to a god, Lathander. You would have some insight into things.
I mean, I don't deal with raising the undead and having them as my personal army, but I don't know.
Whatever you did to make them wake up, put it back.
I don't know. Do that, or maybe see if you can give him a command. I don't know.
I wonder why I would try it. I guess I'd put the crystal flask back on the altar.
All right, you put it back down. They're still standing, staring at you, cold undeath.
I guess this is the last thing I'll try, and I'll just command them to sit down. If that
Excellent.
worked.
The skeletons all sit down, crisscross applesauce.
Hands in their lap.
Yeah. Which brings us to Biner's turn. Since you're the only one who hasn't gotten a chance to go yet, so you witness this, Biner. Do you want to do anything?
Just seeing it, he's just going to get closer to the altar and be like, it's got to be something with the dagger, or they like you, Ophelia. They must think you're hot or something.
Ophelia's
Well,
own
I'm
personal undead harem.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I will say, as they are sitting down, they are still looking at Ophelia.
Like a
I'll add
bunch
my
of
turn.
kindergartners looking at their teacher.
A little bit.
Oh my god.
That dead-eyed look.
I don't think it's the biggest compliment being told that undead would find me attractive.
But
Well, only
you
Fishbone
crossed
finds you
over all
attractive?
realms, I guess. You know, I'm not to judge.
so, just to ask, would Penny or Balthazar keep trying to fight these guys?
No,
No.
Balthazar is gonna calm, because I'd assume Penny attacking, his instincts are just like, no, that attack, protect the child.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as these things aren't fighting and are under control of Ophelia, though, he's just like glancing at her and looking at the undead with a wrinkle to his brow.
Excellent. Then yeah, we're gonna leave initiative now, as skeletons are just sitting there quite peacefully. Durkee is creeped out. And at this point, Ophelia, your dagger begins to fade and becomes once more not glowing or hot.
Right. So I just have a skeleton envoy now.
You put them back to rest. This isn't. He's looking at the skeletons and is slowly sheathing his weapon. This shouldn't be how it goes.
Sure.
Wait.
He's
You
gonna
got
peek his
command
head
of
through
5 skeletons and you want to put them back to sleep? They might come useful against the goblins.
It's unnatural, and this isn't. No matter how old they are, or whether or not, they still have their spirits left.
I
The dead
do-
should be respected.
I really agree with Balthazar. Would you want your corpse being paraded around in control of someone? Benur.
Use the
Well,
someone, perhaps even
technically,
against your will.
well, to be honest, many people wear things of my people after we die. So what's the difference?
Carefully tucks away ivory. No.
Penny takes her hand and hides behind his back.
That's right. Penny has an ivory ring.
Uh-huh. She's just gonna look away.
Starts whistling a tune.
Swinging back and forth between her toes and her heel. Don't be suspicious.
You do what you do. I mean, it's a thought. I mean, we don't know what we're going up against, and maybe it'll bring honor to them. Maybe they died with dishonor, and maybe fighting with us will bring them honor and let their spirits rest. We don't know what these, why they're here, and they're still able to be commanded by Ophelia's beauty or something. I mean,
I guess I'd look at the skeleton, and that's right in front of me, and just be like,
Yeah.
Can you talk?
Speak,
Well-
boy, speak.
I guess I'm going to take that as a no. Oh shit!
Sit, speak, shake, good boy.
Oh my gosh!
Are the coffins that they came out of decorated in some way? Or are they just plain?
They are decorated, and I will describe them, but it did say yes. But
No, I heard it.
yeah, okay, good. Each of the carved stone coffins resembles a noble elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes, and the skeletons that came out mimic the coffins, though they look a little less elf-like, considering they're skulls with no ears. Yeah.
What?
The one that you're looking at right now, each one does have its own little interesting details. The one you're looking at right now actually has, it's a skeleton, but it seems to have 2 humanoid eyes that are perfectly preserved, blue, and just staring at you.
Mm.
Yes.
Great guys you have.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Think we should take the skeletons with us. Look at what the suit of armor did for us. It helped us. Maybe these skeletons can help us too.
But at the
And
same
as I'm
time,
saying that, I'm gonna reach over and steal the whistle off of the altar.
Oh my god!
Excellent.
Balthazar's grabbing her hand.
You grab the whistle. The skeletons all turn to look at you, Penny, for a brief moment, and then slowly turn their eyes back to Ophelia.
I take it I can command you through the dagger.
Yes.
Right, that's just bone chilling. No pun
I don't
intended.
like this.
Do they like that? Do they want to go back to sleep?
Yeah, dude. What were the circumstances that led you all to be here? No.
No.
So it seems like maybe they can only answer yes or no questions.
Yes.
Do you want to be put to rest?
Hmm. Was this your choice?
Yes.
I don't know, guys. I kind of get a bad feeling from this.
I mean,
I am. This goes against everything my my order stands for.
I have to agree with Balthazar on this one.
bones are useful, but usually not with the spirit attached to them.
Penny, the whistle you have is made of crystal, by the way. Oh, sorry, Penny. What were you saying?
Does Ophelia still have the flask, or is that sitting down on the altar?
I put it back on the altar.
Yes. But I was
So,
gonna let you know before that, Penny. The whistle that you picked up is made out of crystal as well. And what languages does Penny know?
Common, Elvish, Gnomish, and Thieves' Cant.
Excellent. There's writing on this little whistle that is in a language you don't recognize.
Okay. Okay. So can I grab the flask off the altar?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna grab it and hand it to Binur and say, "Here you go. Take this in case we need this."
Excellent.
And
And
then
as
should
you
I blow the whistle?
Oh my
as you
god.
pick up,
Oh lord.
first things first, as you pick up the flask, once again, all of the skeletons dart their heads to look at you before slowly turning back to look at Ophelia. And then you blow the whistle.
Yep, I'm gonna blow the
Oh my
whistle.
god.
Blow the
Excellent.
whistle.
Oh, actually, before you blow it, sorry, I just found I have more description of it for you. It's carved from transparent crystal, and it resembles a tiny dragon curled up like a snail. So that's fun. If that
Okay.
affects the fact that you blow it or not, I'll leave that to you. But I thought
Yeah,
I'd give it to you.
I still want to blow the whistle.
Excellent. You blow this whistle, and as you do, you just hear this emanating from it as opposed to a normal whistle noise.
Okay, I'm gonna blow it again. What was that?
Oh. Balthazar
And,
is putting his hand over hers.
In addition
He's-
to that noise, because I wasn't quite done, all of the skeletons in the room are still looking at Ophelia, but their bones begin to shake.
And okay, so I'm not gonna blow. I won't blow the whistle again.
Okay.
I'll just.
So when they shook, did it? Well, like, was it like in fear? Was it like they're gonna fall apart?
Is this like a dog whistle?
Roll me an Arcana roll or a Religion roll. Your choice. If you want to figure out what was going on there. Ooh.
Ooh.
So, Biner, you're pretty sure that that whistle is what made them into what they are now. It is connected to their soul. And in addition to that, you're pretty sure that when Penny blew into it, magic within the whistle was searching for an uninhabited corpse. But sadly, all of those corpses are inhabited right now. So It kind of
Mhm.
rattled them a bit, but it didn't. The magic didn't have anywhere to go.
Penny, can I see that whistle? See if there's anything on it that we should be aware of.
Well, there's a little bit of writing, and I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna hold it and show him the writing on the whistle. But I'm not
Excellent.
gonna let him have it. I'm just gonna show him the writing.
Is it in Draconic or Druic or
It is in
Luxodon by chance?
Dwarvish.
I can't read it either.
I can.
Too bad you're not in the room.
Yeah.
I'm at the edge of the room, just not wanting to be here.
Yeah.
This writing might be Dwarvish or some dialect similar to it. Can anybody maybe read that?
I can read Dwarvish, and it's gonna like motion you guys to come closer. He's not stepping into the room further.
So I'll move closer to Ina, and I will hold the whistle out so that Ina can see it, the writing on it, but I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna hold on to the whistle.
Excellent. In Dwarvish is written the name the Night Caller.
So Ina, what does it say? Can you read it?
It says the Night Caller,
The Night Caller.
which must mean these are the knights, and he just kind of gestures to the skeletons.
Huh. Okay, well, I'm just gonna hold on to the whistle and kind of tuck it in my pocket.
All right.
So are we taking the skeletons with us or what?
I vote no,
I
unfortunately.
No. Also, Penny, please stop touching everything you see and using it. One of these days you'll end up cursed or something worse.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'll try to be better.
insight check.
I love Penny.
Yeah, no, insight
I
check.
love Penny.
Oh.
Ugh.
So Penny really is gonna try. I'm not making you promises. This is a big brand new world to her, and there's all these like just
Neat.
neat things to see and touch and hold, and she's gonna try really hard, but she can't make promises.
Penny, I could use these skeletons to form an intervention party for you.
Well, what does that mean?
Yes!
It means you'll need a talking to about the dangers of this world, it seems. And that
Well,
you
they're
shouldn't
gonna
be
have to
touching
catch
things
me.
at random.
They're gonna have to catch me, and I'm gonna dash out the door and stand next to Erky.
Yeah, Urki is sort of sitting on the edge of this pool, just sort of looking frightened at the skeletons.
Oh,
Does the flask have any writing on it?
The flask. Give me just a moment.
I don't have the flask. Binder has the flask.
Uh,
That was graciously handed to by Penny.
Crystal flask is in the shape of a dragon as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have any writing on it.
Is there anything in it? Did you say?
Yeah, so you sort of shake it a little bit, you can hear some sort of liquid swirling around in there. And if you pop it open, give it a sniff, the liquid inside has a bit of a minty smell to it. And if you have proficiency in alchemist's tools, you could roll that. If not, go ahead and we'll say this will be an arcana or a nature roll if you want to figure out what's inside there.
I'll do a nature.
All right.
Because of my keen smell, do I get to roll that at advantage?
I would say no, because you know it smells minty, but this is determining if you can connect with the smell, means, if you have the knowledge for that. But with 16, I will say that you do, in fact, know what this is. This is, give me just a moment here. Oh, gonna have to set something up real quick. So roll 20 is just doing all sorts of rudeness on me today. This is a potion of fire resistance. Could be quite useful. And I'll show that to everyone.
Well, I'll communicate that to the party and say we should probably take this along with us.
Agreed.
Yes, indeed.
Binor, since you pointed out what was going on with the whistle, do you think destroying it would sever their connection to the skeletons?
I wouldn't think so. Derek, would I know that?
With that super high religion that you rolled, I would say yes. It would, in fact, put the skeletons to rest.
I'll command the skeletons to stay, and I'm going to go walk out of the room and talk to Penny. Hey, Penny.
Yes.
Could I trade you for the whistle?
No, I really like this whistle.
Not even for the ring I found?
Nope, I already have a ring.
There's nothing I could do to get this whistle off your hands?
Nope.
Ricky just kind of gives you a shrug.
Can you find me another whistle?
If you give me this one, I would work.
Nope. I want another one before I give you this one.
Oh my gosh.
Please. You heard what Biner said about that whistle. Would you rather blow it and summon more undead? Is that really something you would want?
In the next room, you hear, yeah.
Should I give the whistle?
So he'll come out of the room and he'd be like, well, I guess the question is, I mean, if it's going to upset many people in the party, Penny, we probably should put these skeletons to rest.
Okay, I'll give you the dragon whistle. But if we find a dragon egg, I'm keeping it.
I thought we already decided the egg was going back to the kobolds.
You can say that.
They're better yet. I'll make a deal with you.
That.
You give Ophelia the whistle, and if we find a dragon, you can keep it.
A dragon or a dragon egg? Or both?
An actual dragon. Baby dragon. A big dragon, I doubt the dragon will let you keep it.
But isn't a baby dragon an egg? Don't they start out in an egg? So if we find an egg, can't I have the egg? And then hatch the dragon?
But as
she makes
Ina
good points, Urki says.
But
Don't encourage
as Ina
her.
said, we told them that if we found the egg, we would
I didn't tell him that.
give them the egg.
But we didn't. Oh, we can give him an egg, an empty egg.
Please.
Is Penny distracted by this conversation with Biden?
No, I can see you.
Okay.
I'm aware of what's going
Yeah.
on.
In fact, Ophelia is probably very noticeable because
That's true.
their dagger is glowing again.
Oh, cool.
It's red.
So I will take the whistle out and I will give it to Ophelia. And I will say, here you go. You can have the whistle.
Thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
I owe you.
Yes,
And I'm
you
gonna
do.
go. I'm gonna go walk back in. I'm gonna place the whistle back on the altar,
Okay.
and I'm gonna stab it with the dagger and break it.
All right. The crystal shatters, and the sitting down crisscross skeletons all fall to pieces. Just big old lumps of skeleton on the ground. Maybe you
On the
should have
ground or in
had.
their coffins.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they were sitting on the ground.
Rip.
You didn't tell them to go back into their sarcophagi first.
I should have just had them pile up. Would have made this easier. Balthazar, do you want to?
No, they have their own places. Yeah, Balthazar is going to just sweep them back into their sarcophagi as best as he can.
I was gonna say, Ina's like already putting bones in the sarcophagus, just slowly looking to see if there's anything in the
Yeah,
sarcophagus
I
at
was
the
gonna
same
say
time.
I would like to check out the skeletal remains.
Amazing. So they've got old, worn, fancy robes that each of them is wearing, for starters. And I think each of them has a weapon on them. They each have short swords that are kind of rusty. You can roll me an investigation if you want to see if there's anything else.
Can we each roll it?
You
Fuck,
each
I
can
forgot I'm
roll.
on disadvantage.
Yeah, you are exhausted. Let's see here. Doot. All right. Yeah. Aside from that, they don't seem to be buried with any other possessions.
Shame. More bones.
A great
All
shame.
bones.
All bones.
Right. Well, I would if they're all in their coffins now, I would do what we've been doing and either be like, Balthazar, did you want to say a prayer or anything before
Yes,
I
but he puts a hand over hers if she was like getting ready to shoot a firebolt and shakes his head. No need. The pyres were for the bodies that couldn't be buried.
Okay.
They have their places, but Balthazar will ensure that the dead bodies are sufficiently blessed, and that their souls would move on to his mistress, essentially.
All right. Then everything gets cleaned up after a little bit. It's good to go. Urki is actually going to turn over to look at Penny while y'all are doing this and just be like, so, Penny, do you know how to speak dragon?
No, I don't. Do we need to know how to speak dragon?
Well, baby dragons are really cool because they're born knowing how to talk, but it's in dragon. But I can teach you a few words if we do come across dragon.
Okay, you teach me a few words, and then maybe we can teach the dragon how to speak Gnomish, and then we can have a dragon.
Yeah, Ricky seems super into this idea.
God.
Poor, just gonna walk by and just be like, what are you two discussing?
Nothing. We're discussing how much that sunflower looks so beautiful on you, and it just gives you a little bit of sunshine.
It does. You look great. Urki gives you
Or-
a smile.
And I'm
Or
just
this-
gonna look at Urky and wink.
Borum's gonna narrow his eyes at the both of them and just do the whole two fingers, like I'm watching you type of thing, and give Penny a smirk and start walking off.
Excellent.
Okay, now what do we do? Since somebody owes me something, let's go find some more stuff. Where are we off to now?
See the wizard.
There's silently looking at Penny in judgment and walks away.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
This door is still blocked from when I took my quarterstaff to block it. Sorry.
Stilts.
Mm-hmm.
It is no longer blocked, and your quarterstaff is
Oh.
no longer there.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
That is concerning.
You can roll investigation if you like.
The door opened in, not out. Damn it. But the hinges were on this side.
It was a minor illusion.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey.
It didn't actually swing that way.
Oh, oops.
There are
I don't need to be
splinters
on edge.
on the ground indicating that your staff probably got snapped.
No, my still.
Does
Sorry,
anyone have mending?
It's gone. I know mending, but it's gone.
Game over, man.
Ending.
Orm's gonna turn to Aina. We can still save it. We have the technology.
Ugh, I'm still so a pain to carve. Are we gonna go in?
Oh, this is the way that Urki said the goblins brought him through, so we're gonna go try to figure out how to get down. This is probably the way we want to go.
And I'm curious to see who beat us to it.
Oh, yes. So, shall we open the door?
Yes, Ina, open the door.
That sounds like such a threat with Ophelia saying it.
Listen here, I forgave you once today. I will throw you under something with my
I would-
twiggy arms.
I was gonna say I would like to see you throw me.
I might throw you into lava. You couldn't.
Is Ophelia's dagger still glowing at her side?
Not anymore.
I'll open the door if I can.
All right. Open the door. The room that you put your ear to and heard nothing but a cold, dead silence. And in the next room, you would see nothing aside from another door.
And there's no traps or anything, can we tell?
Porum's gonna float in there. I'm assuming you're flying, yes, Porum?
Yes.
Uh,
Let's go ahead and go in.
absolutely. Now, would you say you're flying in a stealthful manner? Miguel?
Yes. Hello.
Yes. Are you flying in a stealthful manner, would you say?
Yes. Question mark. Describe stealthful.
I mean, are you trying to be quiet? Are you just rush it in there?
Not so much rushing, just very nonchalantly, just walking through the door, or floating through the door, I should say.
Okay. Would you like to roll a stealth for me, is what I'm actually asking.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll stealth just for the hell of it. What happened to my sheet? It disappeared. Come on.
Ugh.
Would you like to roll a perception for me as well, Porum?
Sure. Perception.
Okay. Let me check something real quick.
Rocks fall. Party dies.
Oh, that was last session.
Yeah. All right. Yep. So everything's fine.
You know?
Seems clear to me, everybody. Or I'm just gonna go back to the door. Like, are you guys coming in? Is it just me?
Balthazar will step in cautiously. Is it just a big empty room?
You can roll investigation if you like.
Yeah. Balthazar doesn't trust that it's a big empty room. It's a 6.
Seems pretty empty. There's some dust.
Yeah.
Can Penny try to stealthily go across to the other door?
Yeah, you can make your way over to the other door if you like.
Can I do it stealthily?
I'd say yes, you can, but if anything were to be alerted, Porum would have already alerted them, so keep that in mind.
Okay. Can I still just check for traps? Or
Yes, you
anything?
can. You can roll Thieves' Tools if you like, using Wisdom.
Okay.
Very good, very good. Give me 1 second to make sure I'm describing this thing correctly for you. Magnificent. So, as you get a little closer inside and look around, you do see something tied to the bottom corner of this door. It looks like there's some sort of rope tied to the bottom corner, which makes you think that should you open it, something will happen.
Turn around and communicate to the rest of the group, guys. I think that door over there is rigged with some kind of trap. Need to think about it before we go in there.
Could you disarm it by chance, Penny?
So how would I describe it, Derek?
It looks like there's some sort of rope tied to the bottom of the door, so you're pretty sure that if you open the door, something will happen. But because it's on the other side of the door, it's impossible for you to tell what. Be like something is going to get pulled and drop on you. Could
So
be
I
something
communicate
else.
that to Porum.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hmm. So how do we
See, this is
proceed
when
from
those skeletons could have come in handy. We could have maybe sent one through the door first.
Hmm. Do we have anything? Does anyone have anything by chance that could possibly help us out with this trap?
Well, I mean, I have my quarter staff, but I don't think it'll push the door open.
The best thing I could think of is using my dagger to cut the rope, but that would just activate it. It seems.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's side of the door.
they would just at least, worst case of doing that would at least warn the other people on the other side, probably. Right? But at least no one gets hurt for our side.
If the gap under the door, would that be big enough for like a spider to get through?
Gap under the door big enough for a spider to get through? High or low?
Hi.
Excellent. Anyone in the chat, you'd like to type exclamation mark roll 1d20 or exclamation mark 1d20, I believe. It should do it. If not, we're going to go with my roll here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody in the chat doing it just yet, so I'll roll 1. Excellent. And you said hi, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, yeah, a spider could crawl under.
All right. If you guys give me 10 minutes, I will transfigure Peaches. And Ina's just gonna start pulling out spell components and stuff, and because technically doesn't have the incense, would just 10 gold flat out be able to for the Find Familiar?
Yes, I believe so. Well, no, actually, yeah, I'd say because of the circumstance you're in, you don't have incense, you probably wouldn't be able to do it.
Balls!
I'm sorry.
Does Balthazar have incense by chance, maybe?
It has to be 10 gold worth.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping I could burn off, like, the gold itself. Alright, never mind. Don't have the ingredients.
He has a box of incense, but I don't know if that's enough, sadly.
Most likely not the special incense needed.
Probably not. If anything, if we do end up triggering trap and alerting something, should they come to investigate, they'll at least be bottlenecked by the door.
Don't exactly know what's gonna happen, so someone with a little bit more health maybe on the other side. Stand on the one side of the door. Just choo.
I mean, I can take my shield out and my glaive out and take a point. That way, if there's any traps, I can hopefully block it. If, like, arrows, for example.
Oh wait, hold on. Migs, did you use hit dice to heal yet? Because we did
Not
short rest.
Not yet. I'll go do that.
Heal
Right now.
real quick. Before throwing yourself into danger, heal yourself.
Okay, I'm at full. That's 8 total. Yes, I am totally prepared to throw myself into danger now.
Excellent.
That's my option. Anyone else have any other options, perchance?
Well, I hate to say it, we don't have the skeletons. They should have been laid to rest. But I can see where Penny meant that could be useful here.
They've been real useful.
The dead are meant to be useful.
Maybe we should have Ophelia cut the rope and see what happens.
Being real petty there, Penny.
Yeah. Perhaps we leave this later. I don't think any of us are at full capacity to handle whatever might be on the other side.
No, Penny is right. I should go. Oh fuck. Sorry. I should go and cut the door. If I somehow perish, then I won't owe her a favor anymore.
And the crippling death is on her shoulders. Yes, I see where you're going with this.
Is on the other side of the door. If she cuts the rope, it'll trigger the trap on the other side of the door, and it'll make noise or do whatever and warn whatever's on the other side of the door. It won't hurt her. I'm not. Don't open the door. Just cut the rope.
Feeling a real strong urge to open the store.
Ophelia.
I'm teasing Borum. Are we really gonna go through with this?
I mean, either that or trek all the way back.
Yeah.
Do it the other way
Go
around.
through this door or go through the door that they locked because there's goblins on the other side of it. So
I vote this door.
I think we go this door too. We're here.
Penny, what's your vote?
I think we should just go through this door.
That's 3 votes for the door.
With the other way locked, at least I know the kobolds are safe on that side. Here is, as you saw, they broke my stilt.
That was your good still, too.
It was my scaring stilt.
His name was Phil.
Curiosity, can we hear anything on the other side of that door?
If you want to get up and put your ear to it, you can.
Sure.
All right. Roll me a perception and a stealth. All right.
Okay.
So you do hear something of the other side of the door. Sadly, it's in conjunction with something else. Give me just a moment here. Excellent. Does a 9 hit? I imagine not, Penny. As an arrow punctures through the door right next to your face.
Well, I wouldn't see that since I'm in the other room.
I'm gonna jump back. Well, that was a surprise. Did you guys just see that? What are we gonna do about that?
Go away!
Did someone just yell, go away?
Yes.
Corn. Isn't that the password? Oh wait, these are goblins. Oop.
Well, I don't know what it is.
These are goblins.
And
Our options here are to either leave the door alone or perhaps make for an attack.
We will shoot you if you make an attack. Get away!
Why don't you surrender?
You first!
Well, come in here so we can surrender to you.
No, you come in here.
Surrender.
Don't come in here. If you open the door, I'll shoot.
Oh, you open the door so we can come surrender to you.
Should we open the door? I don't know. It seems sketchy. I feel like walk all the way over. Just
Ophelia would just let out
go
like
away.
I was gonna say Ophelia's gonna let out in like a damsel in distress voice. Please help! They have me held captive. If they're willing to surrender, my family would pay anything to have me back.
Roll a deception, please.
Oh,
Oh,
It still might work.
A little bit more sarcastic.
no.
or do they get advantage?
Oh, there are 2 of them, so I'm just rolling with
okay.
advantage.
Fair enough.
They say, in response to your damsel in distress thing, they are firing another arrow into the door. Sticks out the other end. And at this point, though, I will say, Penny, with your perception of 15, you do hear a little jingle coming from above the door with every time a crossbow bolt sticks into it. Something metallic jingling a little bit. Kind of sounds like a bell.
I think we just bust the door open and go after them. Let's just stop playing around. Let's just go.
All right.
Well, before we do that, Can we ready ourselves?
You can, but I will say this. Their ready to action is going to go off before any of y'all's because you have to do the act of opening the door. So whoever's opening the door,
Could I do not my could I use my wild shape and then prepare the action with my wild shape? So I'd be in my wild shape, but I like you said, their action will go first. But could I be
Yeah.
in our wild shape form so that I can do my action? That makes sense?
absolutely. I mean, most wild shapes last a while, so I don't see why not.
All right. So I guess Ophelia's standing at the door. So before she does that, he'll pull out the scroll, not unroll it, but just pull it out and chant, and you'll see the stars again form around the constellations, and an archer form will once again form, and he'll ready his attack with the archer form. Derek.
All right. You have readied an attack with your archer form. The question is, who is going to open the door?
I'll cut the rope.
Right? You cut the rope. And doing that, you have to get pretty close to the door again. So roll me another
Little
stealth.
hands. Little hands poking out.
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh!
Well,
Oh no.
they miss terribly. So
Wow.
another crossbow sort of punctures near the top of the door. And as you cut it, you hear a bell sort of tink tink down to the ground.
I didn't expect the hand to be blue.
Porum's just gonna walk towards the door and just be like, all right, that's it. And kind of move Ophelia out of the way and
Sure.
gets ready to kick down the door.
All right. Gonna kick it down.
Sorry.
In 3, 2, and 1. And as the door gets kicked open, going to reveal this. As it opens up, there would be 2 goblins on the other side with crossbows ready. And theirs will go off first because, you know, they're a pretty clear view of the door and they know what the other side looks like. So, Porum, you've got 2 shots coming your way.
One will hit, one will miss, since I do have my shield equipped.
Excellent. So 1 hits for 5 piercing as it goes just above your shield and into your shoulder. There's a corridor with caltrops, which means unless you go through it at half speed, there's a chance that you will hurt your feet, and it'll do some bad things if you go through. But, Biner, you can take your shot. Sadly, that will miss as it crashes.
That was a warning shot. Surrender now.
Come on, guys, get in here. And we're going to roll some initiatives.
Probably just write me down for like a 1 or a 3, probably, Derek.
Look, you got a 16.
You got a 16. What are you talking
yeah.
Gotta
about?
believe in yourself.
First time over 10.
Being a big bummerino. All right. So you hear a door on the other side of the hallway burst open as a goblin rushes into the room, peers around the corner, and as their own crossbow, they're going to take a shot at probably someone in the first row. We'll say Balthazar. So they're going to ready a shot and go chow. An 18 to hit.
Yep.
All right. They'll hit for 5 piercing. And then just say, I'll hold up the line and use the rest of his movement to run back around the corner. And we've got a second one who is going to have to use 15 to get up there, 20 to get right here, and is going to take a similar shot, this time at Aina.
Oh, that's right, because me and Porum are
Oh, shit.
almost the same size.
And that'll be 8 piercing. Before he is going to hop over there, but you can still see him a little bit. Ophelia, it's you.
Um,
Oh, jeez.
I'll move behind here and I'll ask Balthazar to press to the wall. And
Yield himself.
no, I'll just do firebolt. So I will let the ignition of my scales burn and take a shot.
Yeah, sadly that will miss as one of them ducks behind the cover that they've got, because there is a little platform that they've built here from rubble, helping them out.
I'll use my last 5 feet to then just go behind her.
All right. Bring us to another gang member who's going to run up here and get into view and aim down his sights. He's going to take a shot at Penny. Like so, a 16 to hit Penny.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do 9 piercing, or he ducks back for cover. And he'll go like so, which will bring us to Porum. Luckily, Porum, you can fly over the caltrops.
Yeah, Porum's just gonna start to take flight and just rush over and smack this one in the face.
All right.
Let's hope I roll well. Knock on wood.
Hell yeah, Porum, kick its ass.
Nice.
Not for much damage though.
Oh, yeah. That,
Nice.
bloodies them, but they're still alive. As your glaive crashes down. You did take a short rest, so would you like to action surge?
I'll hold it for now.
Okay.
I'll hold it for now.
Very good. Ina, it's you. You took a crossbow bolt right to your shoulder.
Son of a bitch. Ina's just gonna look at the one Porum hit and just hit him with a mind sliver before ducking behind where he can't get hit.
All right. 4-4. How do you take the goblin out?
I just want to focus in on the pain on my shoulder and just push it into his brain.
Excellent. And you do just that. Pushing that magic into his brain, and he just holds his head and goes, oh! Falls over, deceased. Which will bring us to Biner.
All right, he's gonna aim again and fire the bolt.
All right. Excellent. That's going to be a hit. That is exactly how much damage you need to do. So how do you take this guy out?
He basically just turns, sees the one dies, turns slightly to the left, launches the bolt, and it goes right between the eyes and sends him down.
All right. And then your turn. That'll bring us to Penny. So there's a bunch of caltrops in front of you, Penny, which means you'll have to go at half your speed to get across them.
Actually, Derek, can I move forward?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
And it's to go slowly, it's double steps, right? So 5, 10, 20, 30, like that.
Yes.
Okay, and I will
Yeah.
end there.
Every bit of movement in the caltrop corridor, unless you can fly, will have to be half movement, or you'll have to make a dex save. And if you fail the dex save, something bad will happen to your feetsies. So Penny, what would you like to do?
I don't know. Give me a second.
All good. I will let you know with cunning action, you can take a dash action as a bonus action, which would double your speed. So that might help you get through there. Oh no.
Would I be if I did that, would I be like where the dead goblins are?
So if you did that, you would be able to move 5 feet normally, and then You'd probably get right up next to Porum. Yeah, you could actually get on top of the dead goblins if you wanted. So if you wanted to end on either of the dead goblins, you could get there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. You will climb over some of the barricades and yeah, just move yourself to the spot you want to be on because there's 2 spots there. Excellent. That'll bring us to
Does
Balthazar.
she still get an action?
Yeah, you do. So if you want to take a shot, because you only used your bonus action to get that far. So if you wanna shoot with a ranged weapon, you can, Penny.
Short bow? Is that so I can use my short bow to shoot at that goblin that's
Yes, you can.
okay, then that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Excellent. So as you fire that, it is going to get stopped in the sort of leather duster that the goblin is wearing as he's reloading his own crossbow as quickly as he can. And that will bring us to Balthazar.
Yeah. Balthazar can't see much from where he's at, so I think with slower movement, he'll make his way across the caltrops.
All right.
I think he makes it to around there.
Okay.
Could he see the goblin to the far left, or is he?
You
or would
do?
he have like partial
He's-
cover?
He's got partial cover. But I will let you
Okay.
know one of the neat things about Sacred Flame is it ignores that. So you could
That is
try
true.
that if you like.
I could do a sacred flame, but I feel like Balthazar just grabs this holy symbol once more, and with a chiming sort of ring, he's going to cast Toll of the Dead.
All right. Gobos is gonna do a wisdom.
Yes.
Got a 10?
So it takes. I don't. Did it take any damage?
Nah, so it would take the lower. Should just be 3.
Yeah, it take the D8, not the D12.
All good. Anything else for you?
That's about all he can do.
All right. That'll bring us to Urki, who is gonna take a dash action, I think. Which will only get him right about there. This guy is deceased, which is going to bring us to one of the guys up here. So you hear some shouting from beyond this area. As Penny, you can see there's a door right here that is kind of swung open right now. So the goblins at the back is shouting out, "Hurry on in! Shut the door! Grab those stilts!" And is going to run up here past some of his friends and to take a shot at Penny. And will miss for dodging back through the door. Which will bring us to the one that you can see. And that one that we can see is going to take a step upwards so he gets a little bit of a better shot. And is going to fire an arrow at Porum for 15, which I think will
That will
miss Porum.
miss.
Excellent.
Yes.
And then he is also going to run back through the door, shutting the door on his way, which will bring us to Ophelia.
All right. All right. I take it. I'll just move to right here and end my turn because I can't end it on the next square.
That is right.
Could I hold an action to see if somebody like goes into like my line of sight? I'll prepare a firebolt.
Absolutely. And then that will bring us to this guy over here. Penny, you can hear some rustling on the other side of the door. and some shouting amongst goblins. He's gonna do that. Which will bring us to Porum.
Porum's just going to make his way towards the door and just stand guard. So if anyone opens the door, I'm ready to attack. So I'm gonna hold my action.
Sounds good. Ina, it's you.
I am going to eat the little great berry in my inventory. It's only one, but you know, it's one. And slowly gonna make my way to the caltrips and just kind of pick up the square, like the caltrip square I'm in.
All right. Yeah, you can start collecting a couple of them. That brings us to Biner.
He's going to 10, 20, 25, 30. And he's going to do a quick investigation, see if there's anything worth that's helpful in this little mess of stuff. I think it looks like it's a place they slept or something.
Yeah, there's a little camp they've got sort of set up there. Let's see here. Yeah, you can roll a perception for me. So you'd see there's some jerky that looks like it's gone bad a while back. There's some bottle of pretty cheap looking wine and some water skins. Seems like a lot of worthless clutter, though, for the most part, aside from the things that the goblins themselves have on them, which the two ones that you killed seem to be wearing leather armor and have light crossbows and short swords on them.
Hey, there's a crossbow here if you want to replace the one you lost. And then he'll just ready attack if the door opens.
All right. That'll bring us to Penny.
I'm just gonna move up here, kind of back, and just hold right there.
Sounds good. That'll bring us to Balthazar.
He's gonna complete his way over the caltrips.
All right.
And do the crossbows look like they're in decent shape? I assume not, but I don't know for sure.
They are light crossbows as opposed to hand crossbows, and they look functional.
That might just be the only thing needed. Balthazar kind of nods at Biner, and he'll snatch up one of the light crossbows.
Very nice. That will then bring us to Urki.
Wait.
Oh,
He's
yes.
he hasn't. He'll just also hold his action. He'll ready up the crossbow with one of his bolts and has it pointed towards the door just in case.
Very good. Urki's going to take a dash action to get all the way across, which is going to bring us to some more goblins. As Porum, since you're right next to the door, you hear rustling and skittering away on the other side. And I'm gonna do very good. And some more of the same. All right, Ophelia, it is you.
All right, I will move, and then I will dash to get to this corner.
All right.
And actually, would I be able to get into this corner from back here?
All the way to the back there?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you could.
I will do that, and I will also. Well, I guess Binder's in front of me, so doesn't really matter.
Alright. Bring us to another goblin. Do that, and there we go. Alright. That'll bring us to Porum.
Porum's gonna keep his eyes locked on the door, but just like shout back to the group, and just say, "It sounds like they're retreating," and starts slowly pushing open the door if it's unlocked.
As you push against it, it feels like it is barred. You could do an athletics to try and bust it open.
Yeah, he will go ahead and start trying to ram through the door.
Excellent.
Come on, fairy power.
Wonderful. So, you do in fact bust through the door. As it busts open, you see two little pieces of what was once a stilt seem to be what was holding the door barred. And you also see a new type of goblin on the other side. Goblin with some goggles on that has some metallic contraption attached to his back, and also seems to be holding
No.
a device with a flame coming out of the other side.
No.
And he's going to be shooting that flame out like so. So I'm going to need Ophelia, Biner, and Porum to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh,
Would anyone
I
like
felt-
to use an inspiration that they may or may not have?
I felt that natural.
Yeah,
one
can I-
coming.
Can I take out a loan of inspiration?
I can
No.
I can give out my inspiration. Reroll that save for him. Save yourself.
All right,
Oh,
Porum,
you-
go once more into the
Okay,
breach.
let's see.
Oh no! Well, you will all be taking 8 points of fire damage as this
Oh,
fella very much flame throws you. And then another ready to action will have another fella run out behind that one who looks much the
Oh,
same.
God.
Luckily, his ready to action is to move, though. But we're going to be adding 2 more fellas to the initiative. So, Porum, it would have used your action to bust that open. But you could action surge and you can still move. What would you
I
like
still
to
have
do?
I still have bonus action too, right?
That you do.
I'm gonna take a bonus action to use my potion of healing.
A wise choice.
That's 2d4 plus 4.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad.
So 5 plus 4, so you get 9. Very good.
And I am going to action search and
Nice.
move forward and try to stabby stab.
All right. Since glaives have reach, do you want to stab the one in front of you or the one behind?
Will I take a disadvantage if I stab the one in front or no?
Nope. That's only with lances.
Then yeah, I'll stab the one. I'll stab the one behind just because. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. So roll damage for that.
16.
16. Excellent. So, that's gonna be fun. Right there. Oh no. So you swing your blade forward, and it ducks just as you do. As your blade pierces its back. the tank on its back. Because when these guys
no.
die, they explode. So I'm gonna need another
Sad.
dex save from you. And also the guy in
no.
front.
There you go.
Very good. He got a
Hey.
21. So this will be half damage as he explodes for 3. So you only take half of that, so you only take 1 point of damage, as does
Aw,
the guy
yeah.
right in front of you,
Shit.
as he blows the heck up. Very nice. Anything else for you, Porum?
I think that's it. That's pretty much all I can really do.
Excellent. Ina, you heard a massive explosion down this hallway.
Also very injured, so I'm not about to go running. I'm just slowly, like, moving, picking up caltrips as I go.
Excellent.
I'm injured. Like, I can't do much. And I'm small, so my speed is like shit.
No worries. If you use your whole action too, I'll say you've got 1 thing of caltrips.
Yeah!
Which will bring us to Biner.
He's gonna yell duck for him and fire off another arrow.
Excellent.
Oh, poor him.
Ooh. So these guys do seem to be a little more heavily armored than the other ones. As your arrow bounces off, they seem to be wearing breastplates.
Since he's standing right there. Yeah, since I'm standing there, I won't do what I was gonna do. So I will move to here so that I don't get flamed again.
Very good.
Okay.
That'll bring us to this guy who's dead, which brings us to Penny.
I'm just gonna move over in front of Ophelia, and then I'm just gonna use my short bow and aim at the one in front of Forum.
All right. Ooh. Yeah, sadly that one will miss as he sort of shoots a little gout of flame up and vaporizes the arrow before it gets to him.
And then can I then move back?
Absolutely. That'll bring us up to Balthazar.
Okay, seeing where I know kind of just hobbling, Balthazar is gonna look over and, I don't think they need to hear it for this. He'll just, mumble a little something under his breath in Celestial and, cast Healing Word.
All right.
Let's go with that. 5!
Yee, lovely.
Very good. 5 for Ina.
Okay. 5 for Ina. And then, Bo's action. Yeah, no, there's nothing else to it. Balthazar is going to move in line in the hallway, and is it possible for him to aim away from the tank on the goblin?
They are supposed to explode when they die, so I'd say if you want to do that, if he has to make a save, he has advantage, or if you're making an attack, you have disadvantage.
It is an attack. Ah, damn it. Ah.
We believe in you, Balthazar.
Porum can
Heavily
take
injured
it.
this. I know, but Balthazar would rather not injure Porum. How bad off does this goblin look?
He's taken 1 point of damage.
Ah, yes, excellent. He'll take the risk then.
Okay. Penny is on top of Balthazar now for some reason.
I know
I
you
don't
got
know what that
shiny
is.
things on you.
What's the
Okay.
verdict?
You know it misses.
It do miss. As this guy seems to be dodging everything somehow.
Balthazar's not used to this. He's used to crossbows. This one is new to him.
Indeed it is.
He gives it a whack with his wrist and backs up to where he was before as he loads it back up.
Hey, that was Kenny's crossbow. Be nice to it. His dad made it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Oh, oh.
But if that'll be your turn, that'll make it Urki.
Yes.
So Urki apologizes to Porum. It is all that he can do at this moment, because he has no spell slots. He's going to do a Sacred Flame. Luckily, that probably won't kill him. Does a Dex, and fails. Takes 1 point of damage. 2 whole points of damage. Oh yeah. Just gonna bring us to the guard again. Our thing doesn't recharge. They start funking with their flamethrower. They're gonna take a disengage and run around the corner away from Porum. And begin jostling with something in the other room. Which will bring us to Ophelia. No targets that you can see at the moment.
Alright, so I'll move 20 feet here. I'll go...
Ophelia, what is your passive perception?
13.
13? Marvelous. 2 goblins get the jump on you. As they both pop up from behind cover and fire with advantage.
Oh no. Oh no.
God damn it. Ophelia, no!
I'm down.
Alright. So yeah, they both sort of fire and Ophelia goes down. Porum, you can see them sort of fall to the ground. Which will bring us to you, Porum.
Porum's gonna fly down, obviously seeing Ophelia on the ground, dead, bleeding, and I'm gonna try to pull Ophelia back into the other room, if that's possible.
Absolutely. You can grab Ophelia and slide him back there. I'd say that would use 10 feet of your movement.
Alright, so I think I used 10 feet to get there, so I have how much? 30, okay. So I can get back to where I was.
Yeah, you could back up if you like.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think I still have an elderberry.
You should, probably.
I
think everyone got one at least, so.
So I'm gonna shove it down Ophelia's throat.
Excellent. Make sure you mark it off. Ophelia, you wake up prone with 1 HP. And 2 arrows sticking out of your body.
Fantastic.
Don't do something that stupid again, please.
No promises.
All right, Porum. Anything else you'd like to do?
That's all I can do for right now.
All right, Ina, it is you.
Alright, I'm going to get right up next to Balthazar. Was there more than one, like, crossbow on the ground?
There are 2, so you could pick up the other one.
I will pick up the other one. 10. Yeah, get right about there. Just looking forward, seeing no one but, on the ground. Like, what did I miss?
Blood.
And I'm going to hold a crossbow shot for the next goblin in sight.
All right. That'll bring us to Viner.
Can I squeeze down the corridor?
Yes, you can. So I think everyone is willing to let you squeeze past them. It's very tight,
God, yeah.
Yeah.
but you can.
All right. I can't see it from the map, but since I'm carrying the torch I said last time in my trunk,
Oh
can I see
yeah.
the gauntlet that fired?
Let me add the trunk torch to you real quick. Should only take a second. Bright light. Feet.
Well, technically too. I think my star thing gives me, I think, some light too.
So
The
you
torch, I think,
can see a little bit of one of them. They've got some cover, but you can still take the shot.
at regular attack.
Yep. Cover just boosts armor class a little bit.
All right. He will fire it up.
Still hits. Nice. How do you take him out?
So he just kind of comes around the corner, sees him kind of poking his head out from his cover, and just, again, right between the eyes, and down he goes.
Hell yeah. All right.
And then, I think it's here. So I have movement. So I'm going to move back up there just to give me a little more cover.
Excellent.
And that'll be it.
That'll bring us to Penny.
I'm just gonna move
And
to.
you don't have enough movement. Everyone's in your way.
Well, Penny's small, so she can squeeze by a little easier than you
Yeah,
can.
I feel like it's 25 though, so that would leave her.
It's true. But you do have a bonus action
Yeah, you
dash. But you can see a little bit of this guy. He does have cover, but if you would rather save your bonus action for something else, you can just take that shot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot at him with my short bow.
Excellent. A 10 will sadly miss, though. As he ducks behind the cover and it sort of cracks against some of the stones they set up.
And then, could she use her dash to go back to where she was?
Yeah, if she'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Then as you
Cunning
dash
pretty
back up, that'll bring us to Balthazar. Cosmic, if you are talking, we can't hear you right now.
Right. I can't. I forgot. I put myself in push talk. But Balthazar's gonna move closer and quietly ask what's ahead and like in preparation to see if there's something he can do.
Archer's around the corner.
All right. Ba-ba-ba. He's gonna make his way forward. Yeah. So he'll push through the rest of the party.
All right.
From around this corner, you can see one of them is dead. Is the other one injured at all, or is he?
He looks perfectly fine of what you can see of him. He is pretty covered up.
All right. That being the case, he's going to just shoot the sacred flame at him.
Very good. He will make a dex save.
All right.
And he fails.
Hey,
He does
that's a
take
3.
3 points of damage. Very nice. Anything else for Balthazar?
Balthazar's just gonna step back towards this corner, keep himself in cover.
All right. That brings us to Urki. Urki gonna be able to squeeze his 20 feet, get over there, and take a dodge action. I think. I don't think he's ready to hop out just yet. Which brings us to this goblin here, who is going to use his nimble escape to take a hide action. 21. Marvelous. and ready his actual action for something else. That guy's dead. All right, Ophelia, you're prone, so you'll have to use half your movement to stand up. What would you like to do?
I'm just going to like just kind of put one arm up and just lean against the wall and just kind of hang back.
Fair enough. I respect it. That will then bring us to this guy, who is actually going to break stealth for a second and say, "Hey, I think they're bunched up now." And as he says that, you're going to hear something happening. This door over here, this door over here, as some fiddling around with it begins to happen. And then he is going to use his bonus action to hide again, as they tend to do. A 16, though. Very nice. And ready to action. All right, Porum, it is you.
To switch object or weapons mid-battle, would that be a bonus action or a action?
You get one free weapon switch, is how I tend to do it. So, as long as you only do one per turn, you're good.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to my longbow.
All right.
And poke my head around this corner.
All right. What's your passive perception?
11, so I probably won't see anything.
11. You don't see anything, but they see you. So they're going to get their attacks first as they jump up around cover again and are going to take 2 shots at you from hiding.
I need to switch my... Oops, ignore that, sorry.
Oh, good.
Panic pressing buttons. Let me take my shield off real quick, since I don't have that equipped.
Oh, shields. Yeah, shields can't be used with glaives. Those are two-handed weapons.
First one misses, second one hits.
All right. Hit you for 11 piercing damage.
Oh, that's
gets
fine.
you right in the side. But they are visible now, and you can see them.
I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at the guy in the middle.
Very good.
With
He's
my bow.
the most wounded one.
Oh, that didn't do right.
No. That's going to fly just past. Anything else you'd like to do, Porum?
Yeah, I am going to use... I still have a bonus action, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I'm going to use Second Wind. So I can do 1d10 plus 10 of healing.
Plus 2, I think.
Oh, is it 2 now?
Yeah, because it's your fighter level.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, back to 9.
Very nice. Anything else for you?
Fuck, I don't know. I think that's all I can do for now. I want to go to the door, but that just puts me in an unadvantageous position.
Indeed. All right, that'll bring us to Ina.
Yeah, I can get right here. Is it smart? Probably not. But you can do it anyway.
There's one that's wounded and one that's not.
Yeah. I heard them shouting. I know somebody's gonna be coming from that door. But these guys are a problem too. I'm gonna take my crossbow and just fire at the wounded one.
All right. Oh,
Awesome. 7.
these goblins are dodgy. I'm getting flashbacks to Fandelver. Anything else for you?
Bonus action. Don't have a bonus action really. So No, that's it.
That's all.
Prepare my butthole.
All right. Biner, it's you.
All right, he's going to 5, 10, 15, 20. Stop here. Fire the arrow at this one.
Very nice. $14 will sadly miss, just because they've got that little bit of cover in front of them.
All right, and then he's going to move up closer. And with his action, he's going to hit the wounded one with his quarterstaff.
Nice. That they will not benefit from cover.
Give him a good old bonk. Oh, damn.
Oh, when he brings his crossbow up to sort of block the attack. All right.
That'll be it.
That'll bring us to Penny.
Go get him, Penny.
You might have to dash into the room because of how people are grouped up, sadly.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna dash into the room. Whoops. And then move up. So I'm gonna dash down here, but I'm gonna move up. Is this a wall? Are they like these goblins on?
It's a little bit of cover, so they've put some sort of, waist-high rubble up in front of them that they've been, peeking over.
I can use my rapier to attack the one in front of me, right?
Yep, and they won't benefit from cover if you do that.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do then.
Nice, that's a hit. Ooh, for 10, that's exactly how much HP they have at full. How do you take them out?
Just gonna, I don't know. Just
Do a swift strike and pull it out? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, I was just embellishing, but please tell us how you do it. I'd love to hear.
I'm just gonna take and slice right across his neck.
Ooh. Nice. Little splash of blood goes on the wall as you do. Anything else you'd like to do, Penny?
No, I'll stay there.
All right. That'll bring us to Balthazar.
Okay. Either deal with that one in front of Biner or be ready for whatever comes out of the door. Get rid of a current problem first. Balthazar is going to step up just a little bit next to Aina, and once more, hand on his holy symbol, reaches out, and rather than the sacred flame, he's going to toll the dead this bitch.
All right.
There we go. Nice numbers.
Very good. Let's see here. He's going to make a wisdom save. 13.
Damn
just
it.
barely passes.
Fuck.
Any bonus actions?
None that he can take.
All right. That brings to Urki. He is going to hop out around here and say, "They kept the prisoners in there," and point to that door that is currently rustling before attempting to help the one right in front of Biner stop breathing. And we'll see how successful that is. This guy
Damn
is
it!
continuing to strive
This guy
and
is
survive.
scraping just barely.
So he's going to use his bonus action, double escape, to disengage, take a few steps back, and try and shoot Biner in the face. A 21 to hit, which I believe will, for 5 piercing, and is then going to swing the door behind him open. That's 10 that he's used. And he's going to go the rest of his movement, and you hear him begin pounding his fist on another door in the next room. Which means, oh no.
There is a reason why Balthazar wanted to not deal with this yet.
As another goblin comes and opens that door, and you hear, "What is it? There were a lot more than we expected. We could really use your help. Oh, get your gear together." And you hear some shuffling in a room a little further back, which is now going to lead to the door with the prisoners in it being opened. As the guy who had escaped into it now has his flamethrower cocked and ready for use again, as he takes a step out
My balls.
and lines up a nice shot that will get 3 people. So I'm gonna need one
Oh,
from
son of a
Porum
bitch.
and Ina, and
thank God.
Urki as well.
No.
Ooh.
Reroll that. Oh boy.
Well, you didn't have. It would have been the 5 because
Oh, yeah.
it's a save.
Duh.
Yeah, but you could use your inspiration that you have that you've been saving. If you like, you need to get a
I think-
12.
Yeah, I'll use
All
my
right,
inspiration.
then we'll use your 13 instead. So it's a good thing too, because that does 10 damage. Urki's gonna take all of that. The other 2 are gonna take 5, as those flames shoot out in a nasty gout of fire. Ophelia, it's you. You're
I
hearing
guess-
shouting from this room now that it's open as well. And help! Help! We're in here!
I'm still just kind of like leaning up against the wall as I round the corner, and I'm gonna break a twig off of my wristband or my armband and snap it to cast Witch Bolt.
All right.
I don't know why I keep posting it, just old habits.
It's all good.
Whoop.
It would be a 16, yeah.
That's okay. That
Oh no, that's a waste of a nat 20.
16 still hits. So roll
Are
that
you sure we
d12.
can't use that nat 20, Derek?
Unless somebody has an inspiration they'd like to hand over.
I ain't got any.
Thank you.
So
So it's 2.
it would
2.
just be 2. But you can do more damage at every turn as that
Yeah.
zappy lightning cracks into him. And you see it sort of sparking across the metallic canister on their back. Anything else for you, Ophelia?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Actually, wait.
Could
If
take
I
a step
step-
back if you like.
I was going to say, will it break the line or?
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at this, you could.
Well,
Well, he wouldn't get you anyway, I
okay.
don't think, but
Then I'll
could be
yeah.
smart either way. I'll let you decide.
I'll take the one step back.
Okay. Porum, it's you.
Okay, so if I were to kill this thing this round, will it hurt Urki?
It would explode and hurt everyone within 10 feet, which would be Urki and Ina. You could make an attack at disadvantage to try to not hit the canister. But the canister is bigger than the goblin is, so it's kind of hard to do.
I'm assuming they're pretty heavy too, like the goblins in general, because of the canister.
A little bit, but you could still grapple if you wanted to do that instead of an attack. Or push. You'd have to beat them in a contested athletics, where they get a choice between athletics or acrobatics.
I'm going to try and attack this thing with disadvantage.
Okay. That is a
Not bad.
hit. Thanks to your archery. That is a hit. Roll damage. See if it'll be enough to kill. Excellent. How do you snipe this guy beautifully so he doesn't explode?
go for the eye.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just want to shoot him straight in the eyeball.
Excellent. The back of his head thunks against the canister, and he falls over lifeless.
Excellent shot, Porum.
Thank you. Oops, sorry, I moved diner. Porum's just gonna use his action to get into the other room with the prisoners.
Yes.
And seeing that there's no other way in this room, since the doors seem there's no other doors, right? Am I tripping?
No doors in this room.
He's just gonna call out to the others. Get in here. This room's safe. And yeah, that's gonna be my turn. I'm gonna go behind this corner.
All right. That brings to Ina.
Are we really gonna barricade ourselves in there?
We're more likely to be locked in and kept as prisoners if we stay in there, Porum.
At least an idea.
It's a good idea. We still have time to get out. Ina's actually gonna look to Penny and call out, make sure the prisoners aren't locked up. We can take them with us and just start backtracking.
They are manacled to the floor, so you need to grab a key to unlock them.
All right. I'll actually stop and try to pickpocket this goblin and see if there's anything on him.
I will say roll me an investigation real quick. That'll be your action.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
So, having done that on this guy here, let me double check what type he is. Oh, excellent. He was the, so there's not too much to pickpocket, because he did explode, but there is a viscera-covered key
Oh, yeah!
that you are able to pick up.
Awesome. Cool, I didn't need all that movement for that then. Just gonna hold out the key to whoever gets it from Ina's hand, pretty much.
All
And
right.
throw it.
Whoever grabs it first.
Biner, you're hearing a commotion in the next room.
He's going to step to here and fire off at the guy at the door trying to get in or get out or get the other
Right.
guys.
Excellent.
Jesus.
Oh. Cracks against the wall just next to his head and says, if you guys can hurry up, maybe. Anything else, Biner?
Yeah, he's irritated now. So he's going to use his action. And he still misses. Jesus Christ.
Oh. It explodes against the wall next to this guy, and he's just covering his head, getting extremely lucky to keep surviving somehow. This guy has magical luck. It reminds me of last Wednesday that we played together, Chris.
Must be related to a
Don't remind me
halfling.
of that, yes.
Anything else for you?
So that's 10, 20, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to start backing down.
All right.
Just say, sounds like a lot more coming.
You're hearing the sounds of goblins gearing up in the next room. That's what those two are going to be spending their turn doing. Penny, it's you. If you'd like to, you could hold an action and actually use cover in the reverse way. You could use this as your cover. You could take a, since you have cunning action, you could take a hide action, and that would mean you'd get advantage on your shot if somebody starts running down here. As long as you roll a stealth high enough, if you'd like to.
Okay, sorry. I missed a lot of what you said, so that's fine. Can I use my short bow and shoot at this guy up here by the door?
Absolutely. I was offering, though, if you'd like a chance to have advantage, because you have cunning action as a bonus action, you could use that to attempt to hide first, so you'd be getting a sneak shot at him, and you'd be able to fire at advantage. Would you like to try that?
Sure.
All right.
What do I need to do?
Just roll a stealth, and it uses your bonus action to sort of hide behind cover. Ooh, yeah.
there you go.
Yo!
That's nice. And now your
Penny
attack...
vanishes from our sight.
Oh
Yeah.
God, where'd you go?
Now your attack
Vanishes
has
from this plane of existence.
advantage, and because it has advantage, you can use sneak attack when normally you couldn't. So go ahead and take that shot. So you sort of hide behind cover and line it up perfectly.
Aw, yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll for damage. Nice. And that is exactly what you need to take this guy out. Fantastic. Do you have any movement you'd like to do, Penny?
Yeah, can I move down into this room here where these guys are shackled?
Absolutely. Now
Okay,
your next turn you could try to pick the locks if the key doesn't get there fast enough.
Okay, that's it.
Perfect. That'll bring us to Balthazar.
Balthazar's gonna take the key from Ina. And, 10, 15? He's gonna unlock the manacles on this one first. Does that take an
Excellent.
action?
So yeah, you can only do it one per turn. It would use your action to get them out. But that means he gets to join the initiative. Which is
Oh.
nice.
Can they fight?
They're looking a little weak, but the alternative is being locked up more. So they're going to try.
Yes,
They're going to
the
find
alternative
whatever
is death.
weapons they can. Any bonus actions for you?
None that he can do.
All right. Gonna have the other two have little symbols so we know that they still need to be unlocked. But yeah, anyone can walk up and take the key. Which, speaking of, Urki is gonna run up there and do just that. So we get
Yeah,
another
Balthazar will
fellow.
pass it off.
Yes. Which means we get to be like so. And that will bring us down to this guy who's dead. Brings us to this one who is not dead, who is now going to run his way out. 30 feet as goblins do back to the cover. And is going to take a shot at Biner. As he's sort of screaming, seeing all that magic Biner was shooting out. And takes a pot shot that I believe will miss. Yes, it does. This guy's dead. All right, Ophelia, what would you like to do? Sadly, your witch bolt target is dead.
That's true. I'm going to take pages out of your playbook, and I'll move over here, and we'll fire another firebolt at him.
All right. That is a hit. Very nice. For 7 damage. How do you take him out?
I am going to be like kind of gruff under my own voice. Not crawl out of the fucking sea for this. And it's gonna be like a big flame, like igniting from her scales, even though it's just a firebolt, but still, she's gonna put all she's got into it as it just shoots at this one goblin.
Excellent.
And then
Oh, yes.
go ahead. I was
No,
gonna
no.
say then she's gonna move back.
Very good. That'll bring us to the first kobold who got free, who's going to run over here where you killed this guy. And he's going to pick up, he had a light hammer on him. The kobold's going to pick that up and sort of get ready. They see something come down here. Porum, it's you.
Seeing as the goblins from the other room, I'm assuming I can hear them like coming into the next room. I'm going to go next to Biner and then just go next to Biner and then pull out an arrow and hold my action just the minute someone walks through the door, just to fire.
All right. Einer, it's you. As you see that one goblin that Ophelia just shot is still like screaming and running around on fire. a little bit in the throes of death still.
I was just gonna blink and just look at how heavily injured both themselves and Ophelia is, and just scream out, "We have to go. We'll block the door and come back." And is going to try to pull Ophelia with him.
Right. That will, yeah. So if Ophelia lets herself be pulled, you can move back a bit.
Yeah, why not?
All right. That brings to Biner.
He's going to for his. Can I hold a Can I do an action and hold my bonus action or no?
Yeah, I'd allow it. It just uses your reaction, so you wouldn't get to do an opportunity attack, but that doesn't seem like a likely outcome.
I'm gonna do as my action. I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
Very good.
And then for my bonus action, I'm just gonna hold the arrow attack for if anybody comes in my view. As soon as they come through the door, I fire it because I can. I don't know if I can see them. If they come through this door, I guess here.
Yeah, the closer door. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, as the screams slowly die down, of that one guy burning to death, there is a pause. Few moments. And Porum and Biner, you would see something coming around the corner. So both of you feel free to take your shots.
What's coming around the corner?
Oh, oh, I don't mean to be on disadvantage.
Yeah, you're not. That's going to be a hit.
Okay, cool.
Excellent. So you both fire, and first Porum's longbow smacks into something, and then the Star Archer vaporizes it as you see a little twig that has a white flag on it getting thrown out. Is vaporized. And unless you are going to barge in there and kill these goblins that are surrendering, which, if you are, they are going to fight back. So if anybody is the type,
no,
throw your weapons out and come out.
Yeah, but we're gonna take our 10-minute break here, and then we're gonna do that because that was a longie.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Goblins are crazy. They love running away and causing trouble. So, yeah, everybody, thanks for hanging in there. I know it was a long time with no break, but we're gonna take our break right now. So, I will see you weary travelers in about 10 minutes. So we'll come back to, 10 minutes after the hour. See y'all then. Hey everybody, we are back. Our heroes just got done through a goblin trap gauntlet. There are a couple left that are in a back room, and they just started saving some kobolds, one of who has a tiny little hammer, is looking ready to fight. They just broke out of prison. I think the last thing that happened was the two goblins that are still alive threw out a little white flag, and Biner was telling them to come out with no weapons, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Toss their weapons out first, and then hands up and come out.
Here for around the corner. Oh, okay, I can't toss very far, but I'll try. And you see a light crossbow sort of land right here-ish. And as well as a very big Bowie knife the point that it would be like a short sword flies over here. And you hear them go, sort of turn around a little bit after that, go, come on, Breg. Toss your stuff out too. But I like my crossbow. Yeah, man, we'll like die. Okay. And another one gets tossed out after that. And you see two goblins begin walking out. One of them has a weapon in their token, but he's very much not wearing it on his person. As they step out into this room with their hands up. And you've got one of them who looks like this. Oop. Says, my name's Craig. And the one next to him puts his hands up, goes, I'm Breg. We're not gonna try anything. Please don't shoot us.
So, what's ahead of us?
It depends on the hallway you take. Really?
This door there.
Oh, that's a storage room.
Does it lead to anything?
Yeah. That's gonna lead you to the big old hallway. It's got a bunch of different doors in it. Give me 1 second.
Anything of interest in those doors?
Uh,
More goblin fighting or anything else?
Grenel's in one of them. All the other, well, Grenel. All the doors lead to goblins. One of them has Grenel in them. In there though, they're. And Craig looks over to Breg. Breg just goes, nice. The other one's not so much. What was that from Porum?
I don't really believe when they say that he's nice or they're nice. The Grenell person. Is that what you said, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of look at each other, look at you, and just say, "That's fair."
So why are you guys taking prisoners and killing the explorers here? And what'd you do with the other prisoners? The other adventurers like us?
It's what Dern's been telling us to do ever since he took over. So listen to that block guy. We round them up. We take them down to the hole. I don't know what happens after that.
And down in the hole?
They both shake their head no.
Is there a way out of this place that the kobolds could go? Would not be attacked by the birds outside?
Maybe. We came down here. There's two teams. One took the bridge. The other burrowed through from down below somewhere. So maybe through there. That would be somewhere down the hole, though.
What's in the room that you guys came from?
It's where we've been sleeping. Can show you if you want.
Yeah, show me what's in there.
Okay.
Or do you want to come with me?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
So I'll take you in. Let's see here. Take you into this next room. Give me just a moment. Take the two of you all in there as well. Seems to be a little campfire. seem to have a couple of rations and more wine skins. There's some, old leathers that one might use to sort of sleep on. Not the softest thing, but it'll do in a pinch. And then there are also crossbow bolts sort of stocked up there. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there's all that much of importance. Maybe a couple of gold scattered about might be used for gambling. You could probably pick up, let's see here, 9 pieces if you want it.
If Porum doesn't pick them up,
We can split it. I can take 3, you can take the other.
Man, worked so hard to win those. Shut up! Gives a little elbow.
so you guys surrender to the kobold and be their prisoners.
Yeah. They kind of like look at each other and say, well, I mean, good. Kind of hoping you might help us get Grenell out first. Maybe.
Who's this Grenell guy that you keep mentioning? Why is he so important to you?
I mean, he's apparently the leader.
Was the leader before Dern took over.
Wait, I'm not there.
It's true. You're not there.
Coo.
But yeah, the goblins are gonna say, he used to be the leader before Dern took over. They used him for, I don't know, some kind of weird experiment down in the hole. He's locked up now, just down that hallway. Don't go down that hallway though. I mean, there's a trap down that hallway. You're gonna want to go around.
Around the hall. So where is the trap in the hallway?
And they would point the trap out for you. And I'll go ahead and reveal it. They sort of would gingerly reach down to pick up a rock, trying not to make any sudden moves if you'd let them pick up the rock. And then toss it that way a little bit. It doesn't quite go far enough, because as he said, he's very bad at tossing. He'd go up and pick it up again and toss it once more. And then a big old pit trap with spikes at the bottom would reveal itself. There's another door in the hallway, but you're going to want to be quiet if you go through that way, because there are other goblins down there loyal to Dern that are listening in.
Which doorway? Can you point to that one for me, please?
Yeah, just past the storage room. You go through there.
Okay.
And on the other side is the hallway. It's got a lot of doors. It's the first one on the right. Because Roll20 is being a jerk today, y'all can see that room already. It's this room over here.
Get to know. Is there anything of importance in that room? Why are they all hiding in that room?
Well, it's just Grenell in that room. As far as we know, at least. They locked him up. He sounds like he's hurting. I don't know what they did to him.
Okay.
So if we help you get Grenell back, what's in it for us?
I mean, you could probably get a lot of the goblins in the main room to turn against Dern again.
Can you guarantee that?
I can't guarantee anything right now, no. But Dern's a bully. Beats us around. He let the lock guy infect some of us who spoke out against him with some weird thing, kind of weird mold, and sent them all down to fight the kobolds or die trying, said it wouldn't matter. We'd fight better in death anyway. Breck kind of shivers a little bit.
So we have trust issues here, of course. Since we just got attacked and flame thrown by your friends, are you even suggesting that you're going to go with us? Or we have concerns that, we go into the next room and you stab us in the back?
I mean,
what am I supposed to do with you?
They kind of like look at each other. They shrug. Hey, most people would have killed us by now. We're goblins, so I don't know. I didn't think this far. I just didn't want to die. The other one kind of nods his head in agreement.
Well, I don't discriminate against races.
They all die the same anyway.
The benefit of the doubt. I even enjoy working with undead if they're willing to be friendly to us. Why don't we go? Come with us. Why don't we go back and get with the rest of our group? I think we need to re-strategize. You're coming with us, though, for now.
Oh, okay. They kind of nod. Yep.
I was gonna say, be warned, you're more than likely gonna be shackled the whole entire time you're with us.
That's fair. Brett kind of looks towards the ground a little bit. But while y'all are having this conversation, we're gonna head back down to Penny and Balthazar. We're helping the kobolds get out. So they are heaping praise upon you, saying, "Oh, we've been stuck down here for so long. I thought we'd never get out. Saw some other people getting kicked down to a place they called the Hole. Thank you so much." They say, sort of looking between Balthazar and Penny and giving real big nods of thanks. If either of you are talking right now, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
The Balthazar's just making sure they're free, but he will give them a quiet nod.
Works for me. Yeah, you'll be helping them get out. Sounds like Einar and Ophelia might be having some kind of conversation as well.
Yeah. Big fish.
Big fish. Oh yeah. So yeah, in that case then we'll just go ahead and have the two goblins come on down with y'all.
While we come through, I want to pick up the weapons and give them to the kobolds when we get down there.
Absolutely. Give them some light crossbows and stuff like that. The kobolds look at first alarmed when they see the two goblins, but then they kind of relax a bit and say, "Oh, these two are the ones that got us a little bit of extra food while we were hiding in there." And they seem kind of conflicted a little bit. They see them, the two goblins with you, just kind of hang their heads.
Oh, I mean, at least I'll turn to Poro, and Poro's back yet, but I'll turn to him and say, well, at least they have shown some type of kindness. Maybe these two aren't as bad as the rest.
Maybe not.
And then I'll turn to the rest of the group and say, should we hurry back to the camp and maybe get these prisoners there and our freed prisoners back and maybe strategize of our approach? We have couple of options, and I think either way we go is gonna be nasty.
We're definitely gonna have to block off the way we came in. 'Cause while we have two of their own, I don't doubt retaliation from others.
That's true. How many more do you
Should
guys
we
have?
even risk going so far?
Well, looking over the rest of the group, I think we'd actually, it might make me feel a little better if we did, because at least we'd have some extra watchers for us, so maybe we could rest up, and then plus we then can choose, I guess, come back through here, fight through, or maybe we go through the other door that the goblins or the other
Surprise them a
adventurers
bit.
went
Perhaps, yes.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Oh, jeez. Balthazar's gonna hurry over to Ophelia and just. Damn it, he's just like cursing a little to himself and Celestial about the fact that he doesn't have the spells to actually heal her, but he'll make an attempt to patch her up a little bit with what medical tools he has.
She'd just respond back to him, and Celestial just say, "Don't
Just
beat
wait.
yourself up about it."
Please wait till we're safe to pull out the arrows. God, I don't want to scream over here.
All right. Are y'all gonna start heading back to the kobold base then?
I think so. Unless you guys think there's another room we'd rather kind of shelter for the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to go fuck everybody up right now.
Completely
Your
fine. Let's
one
go.
HP
YOLO.
down.
Yeah.
Listen, it is mathematically possible for me to not take a hit.
Before that, though, as everyone's preparing to leave, Balthazar will look to their new gobbo acquaintances? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the dead bodies, he will ask, "Are there any burial rituals you would like to do for your fallen allies?"
Usually we bury them, but well, if we have the time, we do. But there's not really a place to do that here. So
What about in this room?
Would a funeral pyre suffice?
I guess, but it's kind of a waste. Supposed to
Oh, wait.
feed them to the worms, the things that dig down there. Do a sky burial. The vultures at
He'll-
them. But not these
he'll-
vultures. It kind of does a spit.
Oh, the normal carrion, then. I understand.
Any of those rats still around?
Ooh, sorry.
No.
Oh. A couple of cute ones. Bragg says, sort of looking down, and Craig gives him a couple of pats on the shoulder.
Oh, no.
We almost kept one. Till, we attacked his mom.
Yeah. We didn't realize that would happen. Listen.
Was the bit about attacking its mom, was that in character, or is that you, RJ, saying it?
That's under my breath in character.
Oh, okay. In that case, if it's under your breath, they probably didn't pick up on it. That's fine. But yeah. Shall we head back?
I guess.
Yeah.
Are we recording them or are we coming back? I didn't hear what the final decision was.
If you do
Or-
want
I
to
think-
stay, or if you do want to camp somewhere a little closer, the goblins will let you know that the storage room is probably the safest place to do it, because there would only really be one place anybody could attack from, which would be through the hallway.
But there's a goblin in there.
There's not a goblin in there,
Oh.
at least according to what they say.
Mhm.
Well, I'm still pretty healthy. Can I have one of the goblins? And I'm assuming we haven't gone through an hour yet, right?
No, probably not.
Right.
Just doing
I'm
what y'all
still
are doing.
blowing away. So I would have one of the goblins open the door, and I'd have a ready action to see if there was anybody in there.
And they would open the door for you. And, they like staying together. But as you peer inside this door, oh, Rule 20, why? Why have you betrayed me yet again? One moment. So I get the thing that I need to tell you what's in there. Yes. So the north and south walls of this chamber are staffed halfway to the ceiling with barrels, boxes, and crates. The clear path allows easy access between the west and east doors. You can see that there are some bottles of wine, food that is actually a little bit better condition, a little more well kept in this pantry. There is some bison jerky, as well as some little things of oil, and some elf pudding in a couple of boxes as well.
All right, I'm gonna look see if there's any types of traps in there.
Sure. You can roll an investigation if you like. Excellent. So you begin walking around. Craig is going to tell you, just as you're about to step in one place, no, wait, don't step there. Just as your foot touches down. And then when nothing happens, Bragg gives him a shove in the ribs. There's nothing in here. And your investigation figures as much, despite the poorly timed joke.
He's gonna call out to the kobolds to come in here and grab what they carry. I know they're pretty weak, but if they can grab any of the pudding, jerky,
Yeah, they're going for the food.
food type stuff, so that way they can take it back to their people. I'm gonna, I don't know, does anybody want some of this jerky for their pockets?
I will
won't
take
eat it.
some.
Yeah.
Pocket turkey.
Pocket
jerky.
jerky.
Right.
I have no food, so please.
I'll take some of the pudding. And then just turn to the people, everyone, and say, do we want to maybe stay here for the night? Or do we want to head back?
Do we want the kobolds to be back with their
Well, we could. I think they'll be safe
Yeah.
to head back.
They're gonna
Yeah.
head back no matter what,
Yes,
probably.
especially if we warn them about the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go around the rug when you
not
see it.
touch
Do not
it.
step it.
One of them would
Yeah.
actually tell you about a great kobold superstition that you should never step on rugs because they are not to be trusted. But they
That's a
will.
very
Good on you, lad.
Yeah.
They will happily accept your advice, though, and make the way back. Before they do that, if any of y'all are huggers, because they do ask, they will be giving you hugs and telling you about how, should they get home, they will be telling their families about the deeds that you've done, and how you've helped them, and to please travel safely.
Okay.
Aw.
And
I know we'll get a hug.
Yeah, so would
I would
Ophelia.
not mind.
Oh,
Penny will give them hugs, but before they leave, she is going to give them. She had found an archaeologist kit, and
yeah.
she's going to give that to one of them. And then she found some mining tools, and she's going to give those to one of the other ones, and just say, "I found these, and I don't know if you could use them, but take them just in case you can."
Thanks. They nod their head in appreciation, and look down at them, and they can certainly recognize these tools as belonging to partners and compatriots. They can kind of guess where you might have found them, but they seem much appreciated that they've been returned. Say, I'll make sure that they get a really good home and good use, especially if we get out of here. Thank you all again.
Careful of the caltrops. I didn't pick them all up yet.
Speaking of which, if you all do take the time to pick all those up, I think it would amount to 8 units of caltrops. So,
And
it's each
Penny's
bag.
gonna go. Penny's gonna go back to the door and pick up the bell.
Hell yeah. It's a nice little silver bell that seemed to be on a thing to where if someone were to have opened the door carelessly, it would have rang and alerted those in the room to start shooting.
I'll pick up all the caltrops, but I'll hand four sets to Penny.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And I'll go ahead and give y'all a little handout for caltrops and how they work. So give me just a moment to do just
Beautiful.
that. Here are how caltrops work.
They're a good inconvenience.
Oh, yes. In fact, I'll actually put those under the loot document because they're not technically magical items.
Well, the penny they might be. You never know.
Everything's magical.
Aw, yeah.
Everything has a shine.
So where are we sleeping, guys?
Perhaps in the storeroom.
Well, considering that Ina and Ophelia don't look that well, maybe we should sleep in the closest place, which would be the storage room.
Yeah. All right.
I agree.
There's probably medical supplies in there, right? Looking towards the goblins.
They kind of look at each other and grimace a little bit and says, "Not in there. We could." They kind of like look at each other and look like they want to say something, but end up not saying it. Their words kind of peter out as if. Well, you can roll an insight if you'd like to understand why their words peter out.
All of us?
Yes, you could.
Please, all of you do. I'm still rolling at disadvantage today.
Yikes.
Ophelia, you get the feeling that they stopped talking because they get the feeling that what they were going to ask to do, y'all probably don't trust them enough to do anyways. So they just kind of stopped.
I'll just note that for myself.
Yeah. I will say, actually, with the 22, in addition to that, it's not necessarily that, like, oh, they're going to betray you or something. You get the feeling that they generally do want to help, but they're worried bringing it up will make you trust them less, and so they'd rather just not do that.
What were you two about to say?
Are you coming up
Yeah,
to whisper to him?
yeah, I'm asking. I'll go talk to them.
All right. They kind of like look at each other and say, in addition to rounding people up, one of kind of rubs their arm, been asking us to gather supplies, anything that looks cool or interesting or shiny. Gather all that up. Put it in the big main room where most of the goblins are at. There's probably some medical supplies in there, but we wouldn't be able to really go get them unless y'all let us go get them. Which means letting us go into another room with a bunch of goblins. And, not be supervised unless, you want to get caught and cause more trouble, but seeing as how we're getting medical supplies, that's the opposite of what you want. Not to mention that we might get asked how things are going up here, why we left our post. So, yeah.
I understand. I wouldn't want you to put your own lives in jeopardy needlessly.
Like
We have enough supplies on our own to care for ourselves, though.
I think this is
The
a
offer is
private
appreciated.
thing.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
Like,
Oops.
you-
Sorry.
stay in
I
your
am-
room.
I'm sorry, okay? My brain no do good, okay? Woke up early.
It's all
And
good.
baby. Sorry.
No worries. They'll sort of nod their heads and, how are y'all dealing with the goblins tonight? There are shackles chained to the floor in the room next to y'all. You do have the key. You could use that. You could trust them to just sit with you overnight. What's your plan for them?
I think we should keep them in our room, but tie their hands and feet with some rope.
I do not have rope. Well, I have climber's kit. That might
I
It would.
think I have rope. I
I
don't
have
have.
rope.
I have rope.
Wow, we're a bunch of, people with rope.
Just some
You
ropey
can't have an
friends.
adventure without rope.
I don't want to say it.
Uh-huh.
You can't have an adventure without some rope.
All right.
Anyone know how to do knots?
Of course, it's basic 101 of survival.
And for hacking off limbs. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't. Do you think I eat people?
No, I was saying that I've had to tie knots around people's extremities if you have to remove a limb.
So one of you will have to make a survival roll to see how well you tie these ropes.
Help someone. I just
I'll-
can't take it
I'll-
myself.
I'll help with doing the survival.
I was about to say I'll do it.
All right, you'll tie them up.
Yeah, I'm being helped, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
14.
it's pretty solid.
As you're tying them up, you hear Breg sort of look over to Craig and say, "This better turn out well. This is your idea. Like being tied up." Craig's like, "It's a lot better than the alternative, man, I tell you." They're just sort of leaning against each other in the corner.
I'd probably just try to say to them and be like, apologies for how uncomfortable this will be. First thing in the morning, we'll get them off.
Craig just gives you a few nods. You're gonna want to make something to barricade the door. Can't guarantee someone won't try to open it at some point for the next morning.
Which way does the door open? Does it open inwards?
It does open
Again.
inwards. It does open inwards. So you can barricade it properly.
Poro will start
Hell yeah.
stacking boxes and stuff.
Why do you
Excellent.
need to stack boxes? We have a binder.
Uh,
I
That's
knew in
true.
front of the door.
Well, I could
But-
shoot something through the door.
yeah, like
Well, we'll put some boxes in front of the door, and then I'll sleep up against the boxes.
Excellent.
there you go.
Fantastic. All right. And y'all are all getting ready to take a long rest.
Oh god.
Yeah. And I'd say go ahead and give yourselves the benefit of a long rest right now, because thanks to the info that you've gotten, even if somebody attempts to open the door, no one will actually be able to open it tonight. So there's nothing that will impede y'all from getting your long rest.
I lose my exhaustion.
Though I will say that is, guaranteed on the fact that if somebody does try to open the door, y'all aren't going to run out in your injured state at the moment. You're just going to hear the jostle. So,
Oh, just because we didn't get to while we're winding down, I'd probably still look over the silver amulet I got last time and the onyx ring.
absolutely.
And the gauntlets.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the gauntlets too.
No, I have the gauntlets.
Okay.
Gauntlet. One.
Oh, yeah, one.
Yeah. For everything that you would like to investigate, we're going to go ahead and save that for next week. So make sure you've got your list ready for the start of next session as y'all settle in for the night. But we're going to start wrapping up for this week. And what we do when we wrap up here, as always, is we're going to do some stars and wishes. So my star for this week was I absolutely loved y'all's reaction to the skeletons and how that whole turned out. With just like being unsure what to do now that Ophelia has a dance troupe of skeleton warriors. That was really fun, and I loved Penny's reaction of just like, I don't want to give over the whistle unless you give me a dragon. That was fantastic, and I loved it. And my wishes for next week are I get a feeling y'all might be able to, it'll depend on how much roleplay y'all do, because I know y'all love roleplay, but you might be able to finish off this floor next week, which would mean a level up. So that'll be cool. My other wish is that Roll20 stops messing with dynamic lighting in rude ways. That would be sick. But yeah, those are my stars and wishes. And we're going to start this week off with Chris. Chris, do you have any stars or wishes?
Stars, great fight. Loved, since I knew what the skeletons could do. I was really hoping we get moving forward, but I understand the plight of poor old Balthazar, so I get it, but man, we could have used him. But that was great, good fight. Wish is that we got such good artists in our group that maybe by next week someone could draw a new Urky picture so the poor guy doesn't look like he's in bars all the time.
Yeah, maybe I'll see if I
prisoner.
can't do a little commission.
He is forever just gonna be behind bars because he is a nasty little man.
He's in a steel cage of emotion.
Feeling emotion.
Yeah, I'll see if maybe I can commission somebody, because there's actually more Urky art that I would like with certain specifications for reasons, but we'll get to those reasons at a later date. Yeah. Jennifer, do you have any stars or wishes for today?
Stars, just the role playing and the fighting was good. Wishes, I wish and hope that Urky and I get ourselves a dragon.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Don't you worry. I'm sure there will be an opportunity somewhere in the Citadel.
I hope so.
That'll bring us down to Cosmic. Cosmic, do you have any stars or wishes for today?
Stars are the whole combat encounter was both stressful but also kind of fun.
Absolutely.
And also just the amount of pettiness and salt Penny was rubbing in at Ophelia was hilarious, out of character.
Oh, yes.
Just we thought this was a sweet little child. No, she's a very selfish individual, and that's
No.
amazing. I love that for her.
I liked Ophelia giving it back, too. It was a good back and forth. Cracked me up.
Oh man, Balthazar sees all these interactions and he's just like, I feel like I'm the only adult in this room.
Absolutely.
As for wishes, I'm excited. I'm excited for that potential combat encounter we might end up having to do, and also leveling up. Woo!
Soon. Soon, perhaps. It depends on how much roleplay I'll do. But that'll bring us down to Migs. Migs, any stars or wishes from you today?
Yeah, definitely. The star is just the dynamic of the group and how we're, further evolving it and how we interact with each other. I'm really enjoying it. And then for wish, I just wish our sessions were a little longer sometimes, Derek. I want to keep going.
No. I will hopefully be all moved in by next week, but sadly, it looks like next week we will not be having a game just because of the place we're in and the fact that might be missing some people for next week. So we're going to take a week off and come back the week after that. But yes.
We'll make up for it with a 24-hour stream.
Oh, snap.
How about we work our way up to that? For the time being, how about a 6-hour stream?
8-hour stream.
I mean, I
48-hour stream.
I will definitely run a longer session when we come back. So I promise you that. But yeah, that'll bring us to Corey. Any stars or wishes from you, Corey?
No, stars and wishes of the combat was fun, and I shouldn't say fun, that's not the right word.
Was it nostalgic?
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt very transported back to Phandelver. I was like, boy, it's like the greatest hits all over again.
I bullied them with goblins in the first campaign I ran for them, by the way, for our audience. In much similar ways. Lots of crossbows, just bullying the hell out of them.
Anything.
I know.
Yeah. Wishes is just longer sessions, Derek.
We'll get there. I promise.
Give us more of the goods, Derek.
Yeah.
Give the thugs.
But that will bring us to last but not least with RJ.
My stars and wishes are the fact that I loved Penny and Ophelia's just interactions today. They were great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love Petty Penny.
Gonna find out it's a cruel world.
No.
I'm gonna pick up the wrong thing one day.
It'll be
Oh, no,
fine.
I might
Break the cutie.
No.
I might break that dragon egg if we find it.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Wow. I don't think Penny would ever forgive you.
I don't think anyone would forgive you.
I don't think Urki would forgive you.
No.
I think you would become the number one villain. Forget Balak. Forget Strahd.
It's Ophelia.
Ophelia. Wish for a level up.
Yes, soon.
I just want a multi-class.
That'll be the goal of the long session that we do, not next week, but the week after it. But yeah, y'all are super fantastic. Thank you all for coming. Thanks Greek for Six for doing some good art. They're the one that did Craig and Breg. The tokens we're using for that. So big thanks there, and big thanks to the other artists in the party, like Chris was talking about earlier with Cosmic and RJ. And yeah, I can't wait to see everyone when we get back together in a little while. And if you're watching on YouTube, please remember, big subscribes, big likes if you liked it. It's a big help. And yeah, I'm gonna talk with chat and ask about some stars and wishes there for a little bit before we do a raid. So yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.